And now we're moving on to a high-income country, I would say, generally speaking, but still access to healthcare and access to insulin specifically is a huge issue in the US. So I'm so thrilled that Zoe Witt, an organizer from Mutual Aid Diabetes, is joining us tonight. Zoe, tell us more about the work that you're doing.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I was actually in the hospital just a few days ago due to DKA from a bad pod site that happened overnight. But I'm really glad that I can be here today to talk to you all. I thought I was going to spend a lot of my time discussing how I rationed insulin for 9 months in 2018 while employed but uninsured in Seattle because I couldn't afford to pay $600 a month for it. But recent developments in America should be addressed. And don't worry, you'll understand exactly how this is directly connected to diabetes and the vital work my group Mutual Aid Diabetes does. For context, I grew up in a rural part of Washington State, only a 15-minute drive from the Canadian border. I was diagnosed with insulin-dependent diabetes at 7, and I'm 27 today. While I attended junior high and high school, at least 15% of the student vehicles in our parking lot had Confederate flags on them. These known hate symbols didn't violate any school rules. I didn't learn that the US had internment camps during World War II for Japanese people until I was 16, and I wasn't educated on white supremacy until I graduated university at 21, and those were elective courses not required to get a degree. At the same time I was coming off my insulin drip in the hospital on Monday night, it was leaked that our highest court will soon eliminate Americans' right to abortion by overturning a previous court ruling. We all know that diabetics have high-risk pregnancies, and this will certainly mean more death for our community. Fascism has always existed in America. It's the reason they don't teach us about our country's own history. It's especially existed for those of us with extremely marginalized identities. Black, Indigenous, trans, undocumented, and disabled folks, including diabetics. But the way this leaked court document is written, it's clear they're going to come for all of us soon, even some of the more privileged. Recently on Diabetics Doing Things, I said would probably be an undeniable fascism within 5 years, but now it seems imminent. While the Republican two-party system sprint towards fascism, the Democrats who crush leftist and anti-fascist opposition walk towards it. The Democrats in power right now could change our laws to codify our human rights, eliminate student loan debt, and give everyone free insulin and healthcare, but they won't. Instead, they're using this to fundraise for our next elections they'll no doubt lose since they haven't accomplished anything while controlling our government. These politicians allow diabetics to die from rationing insulin due to our unregulated drug market. They let Eli Lilly, Novo Nordisk, and Sanofi price us out of our eyes, our organs, our limbs, and our lives. We know that 1 in 4 insulin dependents in America ration insulin, but a recent MAD survey suggests it's closer to 1 in 2. These systems are not broken. They're working exactly as intended. They benefit the millionaires, the billionaires, the corporations, the politicians in power. We know how much our government spends on our military to perpetrate atrocities around the globe, all at the expense of the rest of us, who they work nearly or completely to death with no health care. This is why Mutual Aid Diabetes, or MAD, chooses to operate outside of the government. We intentionally aren't a registered nonprofit. We help diabetics navigate the complex American healthcare system that so often kills them. In our first year, with roughly 3 volunteers, we helped nearly 300 diabetics. The individuals behind and associated with MAD get people the supplies and insulin they need by any means necessary. Sharing prescription insulin is technically illegal. No US nonprofits distribute funds for insulin directly to diabetics, but MAD does. Human Rights Watch recent report, "If I'm out of insulin, I'm going to die," declared US insulin prices, which directly affect many other countries, a human rights abuse. Their top recommendation for our government was to make insulin free of cost to all insulin-dependent diabetics. There's been virtually zero media coverage of this report. The American Diabetes Association, JDRF, and Beyond Type 1 have not even acknowledged the existence of this groundbreaking report. And the copay cap currently proposed wouldn't have helped me when I was rationing insulin in 2018, nor most of the diabetics who have died. If you want to learn more about MAD or support the diabetics we help with your money or your time, please go to mutualaiddiabetes.com. We are a group of less than 10 diabetics in America who desperately need your help. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Zoe. Tell us, how exactly can people with diabetes from across the globe or within the US help exactly?
Yeah, so we're a completely remote group. So we have a lot of things that that people internationally can do. Obviously, people from other countries are probably not going to be able to help us with like the actual navigation of the American healthcare system as easily as someone in America would be able to. But we need help with all types of outreach, media. There's no shortage of work to be done, even administrative things. And then you can support us financially on our website through our GoFundMe fund or with a monthly reoccurring Patreon donation.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Zoe.